Welcome back to Dragon Army Books. My name is Dustin, and this is a special video. I'm actually recording this on Easter Sunday, and I'm making an Easter-themed video. What other booktubers are doing that? I'm sure there are some. This one, though, is not about the resurrection of Jesus Christ. It is instead about bunny rabbits. I have a special love and a fondness for rabbits. I have a pet rabbit of my own. In fact, her name is Ozma. I'd love to share a picture or two and maybe three. If I don't have pictures to add here, I'll just put other cute bunnies. And in this video, I want to share some of the best books that feature rabbits. Now, I'm kind of excluding the kid books. Some of these are can be read by kids, middle grade, young adults, but I'm kind of excluding the youngest of books because there are tons and tons of books for little kids that feature bunnies, and you're not going to be interested in those. The list that I'm going to provide you now and share with you today in this video are books that feature bunnies that you might be interested in reading. So they're actually books that can be read by adults like us. The first book is called Watership Down by Richard Adams. This is about a band of bunnies. They don't play instruments, but they are trying to just live and coexist. But humanity is doing what humanity does and is intruding on all of their private personal space, and so they have to figure out how to move locations and live and thrive, not only with the human invasion that is coming in around them, but amongst the other animals and warring bunny tribes. There are so many memorable characters here. There's also an animated film, a couple actually, but there's one from, a few years back, a while back is what I'm saying, that is not a kid's movie. But I would encourage you to share this movie as early as possible with your kids, your nieces, your nephews, because it is absolutely beautiful and it is absolutely terrifying. It is not a kid's story. It is a story of betrayal and death and bloodshed and warring factions and backstabbing, and there is so much here, and it's so poetic of prose. It is a wonderful book with incredible stories that is absolutely thrilling, scary, and beautiful all at the same time. I had to read it as a middle schooler, and it was one of the few books that I was forced to read in school that I actually loved. The next book is another one that probably a lot of people read in middle school. I'll admit, I have not read it yet. It is called Redwall, and it is not anthropomorphic rabbits, it's anthropomorphic mice primarily. However, there is a full cast of characters here. The main character is a small mouse named Matthias, but there is Basil Staghare of the Fur and Foot Fighting Patrol. He is a loyal ally, he's expert in camouflage, and he assists our lead character Matthias and other denizens of the Redwall Abbey when trouble threatens. He plays a key role in several of the rescue missions that the cast and crew go on. Another small world made into a big universe. I know there are many books in the series. Again, it's a series that I'm looking to get into. I, of course, want to read about young Matthias and the rest of the crew, but I also most certainly want to come across this wise, endearing Basil Staghare and see what he's all about. I guess all of these books are like middle school-esque era because this one is as well. It can be read by anybody though. It's Bunnicula. Yeah, it's Bunnicula, a bunny that may or may not be a vampire, like Dracula. The story was first published in 1979 by Deborah and James Howe, and it tells the story of the Monroe family who finds a pet bunny on a dark and stormy night during a screening of Dracula. Family doesn't see anything wrong about the bunny, but the other pets in the Monroe family start to wonder about this furry foundling because of its strange markings and its fang-like teeth. When vegetables start showing up around the house completely drained of its juices, these pets must take action. It is an absurd story, as absurd as the cover looks, but it's got a very, very special portrayal of our bunny companions in this story. That was 1979. Let's go all the way back to 1865 with Lewis Carroll's book, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. You're familiar with the story, I'm sure, because of Disney and all of the other iterations of the story that's been told and retold in a multitude of ways. But one common theme comes from this first book. There's probably many common themes, but one in particular for our conversation today has to do with the White Rabbit. In chapter 1, wearing a waistcoat and muttering, oh dear, I shall be too late." And then Alice, of course, follows this White Rabbit down the rabbit hole and enters into Wonderland. It is a staple character in this series. Also at the table during the tea party, a famous scene, you've got another rabbit. The March Hare is there as well. Now, they're portrayed differently through different mediums at different times, but they are some of the key characters in this fantastical tale of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, and then also through the Looking Glass as well. The last two books are actually comics or graphic novels that I've either read or am reading, and they're super interesting. The first is called Usagi Yojimbo, which I believe that I pronounced that correctly. It translates as Rabbit Bodyguard. It is a comic book series created by Stan Sakai, and it follows Miyamoto Usagi, who is no Bugs Bunny. He's a rabbit bodyguard, a samurai that is being trained and traveling the mountains, the plains, and the villages of a 17th century Japan, populated almost exclusively by anthropomorphized animals. It starts as kind of a normal, a young Padawan finds a mentor and a trainer and begins to be trained, and it is the unique, mentor that nobody else wanted, but he's got a rich history, and this rabbit actually begins to train and become the best samurai around. It is a beautifully illustrated, well-written, fully realized world and comic. It's absolutely fun. I'm having a lot of fun with this, actually currently reading this and enjoying it so much. And it's an ongoing series. It hasn't yet been completed, so there's still more being written. So there's a lot here if you want to jump into a bunny turned samurai. And you know how samurai have top knots? Well, of course, this bunny has his ears tied in a knot to formalize his training and becoming a samurai. Absolutely phenomenal. And then finally, we've got Bucky O'Hare, which is a comic series that was first published by Continuity Comics back in the mid-1980s. It is featuring an eponymous green hare who is the captain of a space frigate named the Righteous Indignation. Everything about this story is wonderful. There's an awesome cast of characters that surrounds the green hare that are equally as cool as Bucky, and it's set in space, a space epic, and it was made into an animated show and a lot of toys, one of which I grew up with, the little robot that is a part of the crew, and then it was made into an incredible NES video game that actually we played and talked about on my retro gaming podcast, so I'll try to link that somewhere in the notes down below. But this is an incredible story, incredibly illustrated, a lot of fun in this story. Bucky O'Hare. I mean, look at the main character, right? Look at the cast of characters, and you can know the kind of silliness that is here in this story. Those are some of my favorites and standouts of stories that include rabbits or that feature or are about bunnies, the animals that I love most. What are yours? Let's expand this for the sake of conversation. What is your favorite rabbit in all of media? Let's do that. We get movies, books, television, everything. What is your favorite rabbit in all of media? Let me know in the comments down below. I'll share a few extras of mine as well. And as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch and like this video. If you haven't yet, click subscribe, join the Dragon Army, and happy Easter.